So topics for the today are running first program in Eclipse. Okay. Then we will see data types. What are the data types? Then if else. Okay. Nested if else, for loop and nested for loop. These are the topics for today. Let us see how much we can cover. Okay. These topics are for this week. I will try to cover it today and tomorrow because tomorrow we have session with the Sanjay. That is a guest session. So please attend that as well. Okay, that's compulsory for you to attend because he will be training on selectors hub plugin. So if you miss that session, then there will be problem when we will start Selenium because the plugin is more important. I will tell you after this session some few knowledge I will give you today and then you will get all tomorrow. Okay, so here I have downloaded my Eclipse. Okay, and here uh, I have this one. This is Eclipse. You will have unzip this and then here this is actually application. You can see here application, just double click on it and it will launch. Okay, let me close. I will double click on it. Okay, it's opening. Now it's asking for the package where you want to save it. Okay, means the folder where you want to contain all your data, means related whatever you write over there, code or project you will create over there. So it's asking for the workplace uh, repository where you want to save it. So I have in G drive. In G drive I have a folder fab batch. Okay, you can see, and then weekend and then Java. I will show you. In G drive I have a folder fab batch, and in fab batch weekdays and weekends. So I have selected for weekend, and then you can see Java. Inside Java I'll keep my Java code. Tomorrow Selenium classes will start. This way I actually categorize my workplace. You can also do in same way so that you can remember what you are going to do. Okay, just launch it. Now it will configure some points and then it will start. Okay, so this is started. When you will start it first time, there will be screen coming over. So you need to cancel that all pop-ups and just come to this screen. Now you have to create a file, like means you need to create a project and you need to create a Java project. So click on it, file, then this new. Okay, first time you will see project. Okay, once you create any Java project, in drop down you will see the Java project as well, but first time if you are doing just like you this way, you will see that project. Just click on it, and after clicking on it, just explore it, Java project, double click on it, and I will name this first week. Okay, and finish it. This will be not coming in your case. Let me read it what's coming. This kind of project associated with the Java perspective. The perspective design support Java development packages for hierarchy. Do you want to open perspective? Just open and finish it. Okay. Okay. Don't read that everything which is coming. Just click OK. So it actually created a Java project for you. Now you can see this whatever name you given for your project, this I have created previously. In your case this will not be coming. Okay, so this is first week. Just explore this. You will see this src package. What is package actually? First you should know that if we are going to design a project, then there will be multiple modules. To manage those modules, to understand what I have did my in past, we categorize our things, right? Not only in coding, in real time as well. So this is just like that. So we are going to create packages. So here this src, what you are going to learn? First of all, you will going to learn the first program in Eclipse. Okay, so you can also name this basics, Java basics. Create a package, right click on src and new and package. Okay, so here you can give any name, right? So here basics. Okay, just click on finish and see this package is created. Okay, so name whatever you given here came, right? Now inside package you need to create class. So what is the hierarchy? Hierarchy is that first you have project. In under the project you will have package, right? And package will be inside what? src. Okay, and then you need to create class under any package. Okay, so that it's easy to find out the classes related to codes. Okay, suppose tomorrow you are going to design a login module, so you will have login package. We say that modules comes under the packages, means don't be confused, just we are starting. So this is starting a explanation. So once you will start practicing, then you will understand by your own. And here this is basics package. I will right click here and new and class. Okay, so just create a class. Okay, class name should be always in camel case. Okay, this is Java standard. And what is camel case? Means first letter of each word will be capital. Okay, so suppose I am going to give the name first class, then first is word, class is also a different word. So S capital over here and this C is capital. Okay, means whatever you are going to give your class name should be in camel case, and class name should be defining its working as well. Means here I have given first class. Now can you tell me what code I have written under this? No, you cannot tell me first class. You don't know what I told. But if I give this name, right, first Java program, then you can get an idea. Okay, there may be hello world or something else, right? So this is actually first Java program. Okay, so class name should be followed whatever you are going to do in that particular class. See, this is not tutorial topic, this is behavior topic. Okay, suppose if, if anybody asks you something, then you have to reply in a way so that he can understand. Okay, maybe tomorrow you are working something and you actually switch your job and some other one is coming and take over your project, and he is not able to understand your class names what you have did. So it's difficult to maintain that code, right? Maintenance is too difficult. So at least basic standard we should start follow from the initial phase, then only we will remember this. If today I keep writing like class name abcd, right, so you will also face problem when you will get my code. Okay, that what is written here I don't understand. Okay, that's why. So here I will write first Java program. Okay, now this is class name. F I have given capital, J I have given capital. If you are not able to see, then I'll show you. See, first Java program, right? F is capital, J is capital, and P is capital. Okay, so this is your first Java program. Okay, now I will again go over there and just create quickly first Java program. Okay, I will click on this main method. Before this main method, clicking this main method, I will tell you, doesn't matter which programming language you are working. In every programming language, the code execution or the program execution starts from main method only. Okay, so first line of the code will be working for the main method, right? So just run your program and execution will start from the main method. Okay, so I will click this main method. Okay, you can manually write it as well. If you don't check it, then it will be not coming in your class, right? But if you check this, then it will be coming. Just finish this. The class is created for you with main method. Okay, just this comment you need to remove, and here you can see I clicked on main method, so this Eclipse created main method for us. Now I don't need to write public static void main, right? Now forget this as of now. What is this public, what is this static, what is void? Okay, I will explain. Once I will explain the packages, then I will explain you public modifier, static keyword, and then I will come to this return types as well. Okay, but today just understand that here whatever under it you will write, your code will run from starting from this main method. Okay, so this you should forget as of now. Just understand that this is compulsory. Okay, once I will come in further lectures explain this as well. Okay, just let me write first program. For printing anything inside console, we have system.out.println in Java. This is statement. System.out.println. Okay, I will come this every point. Suppose hello Java. Okay, this is your first Java program. Now how to run this? Right click, run as Java application. Okay, you can also run from here, and you can also run from here. Right click, run as Java application. Hello Java. Okay, so this is console where you will get all your results. Okay, now what is this system, what is this out, what is this print? Just forget this everything, but you need to remember, just like in C programming we use printf, if I remember correctly, right? And in the .NET we use console.readline or writeline for printing. I am not sure about that because I used that language in my college days, so maybe console dot writeline, I think, right? And we use in .NET. Similarly in C++ we use cout, yeah, or cin. I'm not sure about that. Similarly in Java, for putting anything inside console we use system.out.println. Now what is system? System is a final class. If I tell you today, then what the next question will be coming with you, what is final? Okay, that's why I'm not going to explain this today. I will let you know later on once you'll cover everything. Yes, anyone was asking in, someone was saying something, asking something. Okay, so guys, in between please don't unmute your, I think that you asked something, so that, okay, so here these are printing statements, printing something in console. Just like here you have this system.out.print inside Java for printing anything inside console, because we have to start basic programs from this week only, so we should know that how to print this, how to print that. Okay, so just like in C we have this, just like in .NET we have this, just like in C++ we have this. Similarly in Java, system.out.println. Okay, system is a final class, out is a this object of this system class, whatever. If I'm explaining this, so many people will be confused. Okay, and nobody actually nowadays ask this in interviews, in actually in Selenium interviews. Okay, but still being a part of the syllabus, I'll explain this, but first consider this as a very much topics to come. See, for this public we have to know what are packages. For this static we should know what are the keywords, what are the return types, what is the final class, what is the object. We don't know everything, so better you should remember. As of now you have to print something, system.out.print. If you use ln here, so it means line break. Okay, line break means something will coming after the line break. See, after this hello, if I uh, just print this. Okay, and then I used another shortcut is sys out, then control space, it will write whole one. Okay, means I just written sysout and then control and space, it is created system.out.println me, right? And if I write here Java and remove this ln, okay, then see how it is printed, hello Java, and there is no space. Space you can give here. Okay, right click and run this, you can see hello Java. Okay, but if I use ln over here, then you can see hello and then line break, because ln is responsible for line break, and then Java is here. Okay, but here I given a space. If I remove this space, then in the same parallel situation it will be coming hello Java. Okay, now why I am telling this ln, why I am telling this space, because pattern program you need to know. If you complete assignment on pattern program, then you should know what is this ln, what is this and that. Okay, so this is actually okay. So this is system.out.println for printing in. Okay, so this is your first Java program. Let me write it here, first Java. Okay, just right click and run this. Okay, now let me start data types. Okay, this is sufficient to start this. Okay, data types. Okay, here see, I have not created main method. Okay, so how you will create main method? Either you have checked over there, right? Once you are creating the class, if you have checked main method, then it will create for you. Otherwise, write main control space enter, main method created. There are many shortcuts. You can just browse over Google. You will find out all the shortcuts. These two are very important one, so I told you. Okay, now what are the data types? Let's resume our classes. Okay, meanwhile anybody have any question, please ask me. Okay, see, in any programming language, doesn't matter you where which programming language you working, we are completing our course using Java programming language. So actually data types store the data. Okay, if you have something, suppose you have to store my name, then you have name Vandan. So Vandan is type of what? Vandan is type of string, right? or the characters it is storing. Okay, guys, one thing I want to ask you for today. See here, once I am in this screen, so I am not able to see my internet disconnected. It usually not happens, but sometimes light goes, right? So it takes 5 to 10 minutes, and I am keep speaking and I am disconnected. So you just please tell me that, and just call me, anyone call me that you are disconnected. Okay, it will not happen regularly, but sometime if it happens, so please let me know. So this is request from my side. Okay, so just I will do this. Okay, so in any programming language to store data we have data types. So depends what data you want to store, you have to declare data type for that. Okay, so these are actually data types. Some data types are these. Today we will see what are the data types and when should we use which data type. You should also know this. Okay, so I am going to tell you to that those also. Okay, so see, pen is not working. See, this is a byte. Okay, byte is 1 byte. Its size, once you declare any byte, then byte size is 1, and this is really important because size actually determines the sometimes your system performance. Okay, if you are using lot of sites, unusual sizes, if you don't need to use and still you are using, then of course there will be performance problems. So these are really very important because not we are doing now the college assignments. These are actually real-time projects which we'll work on in future. So we should be very aware of what size we are using and when to use which size. So here, just like that, byte contains 1 byte. Okay, as a name, and it can store data from -128 to 127. And this data type is what? This data type is actually integer, right? So if you want to store your data in integer format, and what are integer? Normal mathematics, the numbers which are whole numbers, means those are not the in decimal format. Okay, so if you want to store integer format data, and the data is actually in between range of -128 to 127, for an example, any people age, right? Suppose anybody have age of 24, then byte is actually sufficient to age. Nobody will be nowadays more than 127 years. Okay, so byte can store the age and other values also. Depends on the situation you need to use. This sort is of what type? Sort is of 2 bytes. Okay, how many bytes for the sort? 2 bytes, right? And stores number range between minus 32,768 to this level. Okay, integer of 4 bytes. Now college pass out students consider integer of 2 bytes, means they answer regularly to that C program, considering the C programming language. And I think that there are 2 bytes integer value. I don't remember. So integer size depends on the compiler, right? Not the, actually it's not fixed. Compiler means if I using the Java, then 4 bytes. If you are using the C language, then 2 bytes. Okay, so depends on compiler. Okay, so this is range for integer. Okay, then long range is this much data it can store. Can this store mobile number? See, if it comes around the range, then it can store the mobile number, but normally mobile number starts from 9 and beyond the range, so it cannot store mobile number. Okay, but long can store. So if you are going to store mobile number, so it's suggested to use string because that data is not can that mobile number cannot be manipulated. Means I write my mobile number plus my father's mobile number, doesn't it become to my mother's mobile number if I add both of them. So the value which is not, which cannot be manipulated, that should be in format of string. Okay, then float is also of 4 bytes, and it can store fractional values as well. But what digit after integer value means, uh, after decimal point it can store 6 to 7 decimal digits, not more than that. Double can store 15 decimal digits. So this is difference between the float and double. Okay, boolean is of 1 bit. It returns actually true or false. Okay, and so if value is, then it will return true or false, right? So it boolean format is written. Boolean format means true or false. Character, it can store only single character, means if we have to store Vandan and I am giving char c is equal to Vandan, that will be error, because character can store only one character, not only. If you are going to store the whole name, here it's not written in data types. String is there. String is actually a class, so it is a non-primitive data type, so it is not written here. Okay, so for storing name it's very string. Okay, so this is just like that. For an example, if you want to store integer number, then number is 5, right? Integer whole number. Then if you want to store float, then 5.99, and then f is telling it that number is actually in float format. Okay, so this is actually syntax. If you are storing in float format, then you should know that this is float. Okay, character, my letter d. Character can store only one letter, so this is for character. Boolean will store either true or false. Okay, and this is predefined value, true and false. Okay, you can not actually give your value, so suppose something like that. Okay, so here this string my text hello. Okay, so this s is capital, and I told you class name is capital, so anything coming capital in initial means first letter is capital, then that will be a class. So similarly string is a class. It stores actually string values, right? And there are other things in string as well, I will tell you in upcoming lectures. Okay, so this is from data types. Now let's see quickly. If you want to store suppose character value, char c is equal to if you want to store bcd and click and this, so error you will see that invalid character constant, you have given 3 characters, give only one. Okay, then error will be gone. Okay, and if you want to print this character, just print this variable. Okay, what is variable? Data type. This is data type, right? And for this storing the data, I have some variable, right? So this is variable just declared after the data type. C is a variable. If I give here, so any name you can give, my char. Okay, so just like here you should give my char is a variable. Okay, okay, suppose tomorrow I ask you what is the variable name here, so you can say that my char. Okay, just print this my char, and what it will print? It will print b, because inside this variable what value you have stored? You have stored you have stored b, right? So it will print b. Okay, see 10:39 and someone is coming. Okay, now see, now if I want to store integer value, so integer, suppose I give this name as value and 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and I store this, then I can print this. Suppose I print this value and just run this one, 1 2 3 4 5 6. First print for character and second one print for the value you have stored. Now let's cross check what I told about the ranges. See, byte range is minus 128 to 127. Let's try to store 128 in byte, which is beyond the range, right? Byte val 2, because two variable name cannot be same in same class. Okay, you can see value, and this is value. If I will give here value and 128, and you can see what error is coming, that duplicate local variable name. Okay, so it's actually present here and here, so I just given value 2. Okay, or better name value byte. Okay, just here we have stored 128, and what is saying that type mismatch cannot convert from into byte, means this value is integer. Okay, and it cannot convert into byte, means why it's saying it integer, because in the range of integer, not in byte. If I make it 127 and keep it to range, then error is gone. Okay, just print it. 120, sorry, value byte. Right, run it. 127. So this way you can also try out for other ones. Okay, let me show you string name, and I will print this name. Okay, similarly this PDF file and this notes are present in mobile app, you can access from there. Okay, so yeah, you are asking something. See, I did this, it happened. Now you can write println statements, all the statements after that. I have commented this code, so that is not working as a code there. Okay, so just you can see here. Now run it, nothing matters. In order to print, in order to get your result. Same thing what? Of course, output will be same. If I am printing my char, then of course my char will be printed. If I print the value, then of course the value will be printed. Okay, if I will print, depend on what variable you are accessing, it will result you. Okay, if suppose for an example, in your family in five rooms are there, and if your father calls out for suppose Niladri, then only Niladri will come, doesn't matter which room you are, either you are in your brother's room or your sister's room, doesn't matter, the person who is called for will come only. So here I have called for my char, doesn't matter if I write here, then whatever I will print first, that will be printed first. Okay. Okay, so these are data types, many are here, so you need to try in your system. Okay, I have given examples. This is very basic, guys. Okay, I'm starting from the very basic, so that you should have some time to adjust yours in programming. Next week will be their classes, and tomorrow and then next week, so you have 5-7 days for doing these steps. Okay, so please start practicing, and then I will speed my process, not too slow. Okay, so this is actually data types. Okay, it is running first program, this is done, and then data types, this is done. Now come to if else. Okay, so in our life and in programming language as well, we have conditions. Okay, sometimes it happens, right, that this happens, then this code should be uh, running, then if this happens, then this line of code should be executed. For example, if I give you a situation that if your age is less than 17, then you cannot vote. Okay, and if your age is either equals to 18 or more than 18, then you can vote, right? But if your age is less than 18, then you cannot vote. So this is condition. So either you can vote or you cannot vote. This is actually Indian's rules, that if you are in Indian, then this is the constitution, that less than 18 people cannot vote and more than 18 people can vote. Okay, so this is actually a situation where you have to choose between one. Okay, so if you have to choose between one, then of course there should be some statements which will allow you to run some code and reject some code. Okay, and there are if else. Okay, so if means, you understand what is if, and else means either if or else, right? I think that this is understandable, as its name is saying that if or else. Okay, so here in Java you have a if else statement for this actually managing these conditions. Okay, so I am going to tell you the syntax of it. If, and inside bracket there will be condition. Okay, and then open and close bracket. It will come inside this if part if condition is true, then it will come inside. If the condition is false, then it will go to else part. If condition is false, then it will come inside. Okay, means if the condition is true, then it will come here inside if part. If the condition is false, then it will come inside else part. Okay, now where you will give the condition will be here. Okay, this is syntax, that condition will be written here. Okay, of course, but for writing condition we should be aware of operators. Okay, so first of all, two or three operators are, I will tell you, operators which will allow you to match the values, allow you to compare the values, right? So those are operators. This is double equals to operator. This is actually comparison operator. Okay, now here just understand what is this single is equal to. Many times people will ask you what is the difference between double equals to and single equals to. So here you can see that 1 2 3 4 5 6 was the value which was assigned to this variable. Okay, if I writing my char equals to b, right? So b is assigned to this my char and I printed this my char. Okay, so once I printed the my char, then it is resulting what, b, because b was stored in my char. So b was assigned to this my char. So this is single equals to, which is an assignment operator. It assign values to variables, right? And this is your double equals to, which is comparison operator. Suppose I have a value int a is equal to 5. Okay, and int a is equal to 7, and I compare a is equal to 5. Sorry, here let me give b. Okay, a is equal to b. So is it true? No, false, because a is not equal to b, because a is 5 and b is 7. So this is comparison operator. Okay, so double equals to is comparison operator. Okay, and if you are going to use double and, this is AND operator. Okay, whatever I am going to use in if else condition, I am telling you here. AND operator means if I write a condition A and then I write a condition B inside this if else, you can give multiple conditions. Suppose I have written a condition A and then condition B. This can be anything, means A is equal to B. Here it can be written A is equal to B and B is equal to C. Right, suppose I give here like int b is equal to 7. Okay, so here you can see double equals to is comparison operator. Okay, I have assigned values a is equal to 5, b is equal to 7, and suppose c is equal to 7. Okay, double equals to is a comparison operator. Okay, now I am comparing that a is equal to b. This condition, if I write instead of this, better to write here to understand. Okay, what it means, that if a is equal to b, is a equal to b? No. Okay, then it need not to check that b is equal to c or not, because this AND operator says both conditions should be true. Condition a and condition b. And means what? Okay, and means both should be true, right? And if I write here and this another operator, OR operator, okay, so this is false, so this will not come inside, because a this condition and this condition both should be true. If I'll write OR here instead of this AND, then either this should be true or this should be true. Okay, a is equal to b, a is 5, b is equal to 7, so a not equals to b. Then it will check for b is equal to c, b 7 and c also 7. Sorry. So this is true. Either this should be true or this should be true. So this is true, so it will come inside. Means OR operator says that any condition should be true and says that both should be true. Okay. So these are operators, some basic operators. I tell you that you should know this. Okay, so these are some basic operators. Okay, now I'll write a program over here, and whatever I have written over here, I will write in here. Data type pen, just close this. I will if else. I will declare if suppose integer a is equal to 5. Okay, integer b is equal to 7, integer c is equal to 7. Okay, now this is also possible, like 5 comma 7 and then 7. Okay, but I consider that you should declare like they only. Okay, so that you have to manipulate something, then this way you can manipulate. Guys, give me a minute. Just someone came inside. Please give me a minute. भाई जाओ यार, थोड़ा वेट कर लिया, कम से कम से चिल्लाने लगते हो। Yeah guys, so sorry, actually someone came in the main door. I live alone, so I have to go. So this is actually three variables I declared. Okay, now I will compare. If a is equal to b, first I will give one condition, then multiple condition I will give. If a is equal to b, then sys out came inside if part. After if, just after if, nothing should be written. Okay, only if else should become. Else if you are writing, then it should come just after the if. Okay, and if you are writing else, then it should just after the if part. Okay, but something written over here, line of code, it will not consider else part. Okay, it's not compulsory to write else after if, but if you are writing, then it should be just after it. I hope that you got the condition. I will write here, it's not compulsory to write else after if, but if writing, sorry for the spelling mistakes, then it should come just after if. Okay, so this is rule. Actually I am not telling you, this is actually syntax you have to follow, and you have to practice, you have to remember. Okay, there is nothing way that I can tell you. You have to practice and you will get to know, but this is rule should know. Okay, and once you will practice, you will remember. Once you will get error, then next time it will memorize you. Okay, so if I writing, then here else and sys out, then came inside else. Okay, so either it will come inside if, or it will come inside else. Any one of them you will be running. That's why in the starting of the this if else part I told you that we have condition, I have to run some code, I have to skip some code. This is actually the one. Okay, so where it will come, it will come in else part. I will run this code. What it will run, can see came inside else, because see a is equal to 5, b is equal to 7. Okay, so both are not matching. Okay, because 5 and 7 are not equal, and this is you are comparing equals to. Okay, so it will not come inside. If I put a debugger here, and how to use debugger, just double click here. Okay, and this line, double click here. Okay, and right click, this time not run as Java application, debug as Java application. Today we have 5 or 7 line of code, we don't need to use debugger. I will understand, because tomorrow in project 1,000 line of code and something is wrong, then how will you know what is wrong? So you should know that we have a debugger. Okay, and we can debug the code step by step. Okay, so this value is coming here, no method return value, arguments string, a is equal to 5, b is equal to 7, c is equal to 7. This not coming here, I have declared here, that's why coming. Okay, now again debug as Java application. okay, and step over, it came here. My pointer should be here first. Okay, I will again debug as Java application. Let me close this one. Declare a integer here, b value. You can also give here. Debug as Java application. Okay, now it is directly coming inside this else part. You need not to do anything. If I'll put over here, just debug as again. You can see once you are debugging, then first of all it's executing these lines. Okay, then a is equal to b. This is not true, then it is coming here. Okay, but it has not printing anything. Just if you will step over here, then came inside else, right? Because this in this line this was, and if you will step over, I will explain debugger fully explain. I will this, but when we will come to for loop or other parts, here nothing 2 or 3 line written, so it's hard to understand you, but you should know that we will use this in future. Okay, so just close this. Okay, as of now just run this, run as Java application. So this is debugging points that you have given over here, so you just remove this if you are not using them. Okay, and just run this as Java application. Okay. Came inside else. Okay, now the next thing is that if I give, why it came inside else, because a and b are not matching. If I match this, in 7 I give here and run this, run as Java application, came inside if part, because this time values are equal. Okay, a is 7, b is 7, so it came inside if part. Okay, now if I give this c as 8 and give here AND condition, why it's not remembering its AND or what? That's why using older versions. Now if here I am giving a is equal to b and multiple condition I want to give, and b is equals to c. Now what this says? This says that both should be true. Okay, first condition and second condition should be true. Guys, let me restart this Eclipse. Okay, sorry. Okay, now here see, a is equal to b and b is equal to c. This AND operator says that both should be true. Okay, both should be true means condition, first condition should be true and second condition true. First condition, let us see that a is equal to b, a 7, b 7, it's true, yes. Second condition, b is equal to c, b 7, c 8, not true. So it will come where? Else part, because AND operator says that both conditions should be true, came inside else. Okay, this is AND operator. Okay, if I give here OR, so what will happen? Either this should be true or this should be true. So one of them is true, first condition is true, a is equal to b, that's why it came inside if part. Okay, anybody has any doubt in this if else? Okay, so this is single if else. I am going to use nested as well. Okay, new class nested if else. We'll check this and then what this word mean nested? Sorry, means if inside if, and this means if there is written if condition and inside this something else written like another if and then condition, and for this if there is a else written, so else should be just after if. Okay, and for this there is a else, or there will be another if then else, but the rule should be followed, means else will come inside after, else will come after if. Okay, you cannot write here some other code like this, whatever logic you can write here, this is not possible, because then if will be of course a part of a family, else will be always part of a family of a else, sorry if. Okay, so you write some code and then else is coming, it's not true, means you have written some code here and then what this else belong to? Nothing, because if is a part of the, else is a part of the if. Okay, so just before that anything cannot come, just if can come before the else. Okay, so if I write here, now I want to understand from you guys, thus this else is part of this if, or this else is part of this if. This is first and this is second. This else is part of first or second? Yes. So now you got to know that this if is part of second one, right? This is correct. Okay. Now suppose I am going to write a program if condition. So inside condition, if age is greater than 18, then here it will come inside. Okay, if person is Indian, okay, then he only we can vote. Then there are multiple rules of voting in India, can vote. Okay, and else sis out, cannot vote. Okay, if age is greater than 18, then then he need to check another condition, which is Indian or not. Is Indian, then he can vote. Age is greater than 18, doesn't the American can vote. Okay, so else part he cannot vote if he is not an Indian. Okay, then if condition is greater than 18, maybe he is equals to 18, then you need to check again that age is equal to 18. Then of course you need to check if he is Indian, he or she is Indian, then can vote. Okay, and if he is not Indian, then of course cannot vote. Then, but this else part is written here. Okay, if he is not Indian, then this out, cannot vote. Okay, and then if is equal to 18, if is equal to not 18, then of course he cannot vote. Okay, but here you can see it's checked that age is 18. Just debug this code. Age is 18. Okay, greater than 18, that it will come inside. Okay, and it will come inside. Check Indian, yes Indian, then he can vote. Okay, if age is equal to 18, of course if age will be greater than 18, then it will be not checking for this one, this condition. Okay, and but it will come here in else part. You need not to write this, right? Because if you will write this else part, then of course it will be no, he cannot vote, because age is actually equals to 18 came inside, or in this if or in this if. It's a lot of confusion, so just come here. Okay, I will write here int is equal to 19. Okay, a means age, so that anyone can understand. Age is equal to 19. Okay, if of course, and string citizenship is equal to, suppose I given Indian. Okay, if citizenship is equal to Indian, then sys out can vote, pardon, can vote, else sys out person cannot vote. Okay, but before checking citizenship is Indian, you have to check age as well, right? Just Indian citizen is 5 years old, kid cannot vote, right? So here if age is greater than 18, okay, then this code will check for this. Okay, and of course if this age is not greater than 18, then it will not come inside this if, right? And if it will not come inside this if, then of course this code will not be running, because this code is written inside this if. Okay, so here you will write else sys out cannot vote. Just run this part first. Will he able to vote, or she will be able to vote? See, first of all, what will be checked? Citizenship is equal to Indian. Okay, so citizenship is equal to Indian. Before that, what is going to check? Age is equal to 18. Yes, age is equal to 18. It will come inside this. Okay, then it will checking that citizenship is equal to Indian. Citizenship is storing Indian, comparing to Indian. Yes, then it will come here. Person can vote. Else person cannot vote. If citizenship will be not Indian, I will give here like Indians, right? So this value will be not matching, then why? Or if I give here uh, suppose America, right? So he cannot vote because he is an American citizen. Okay, so I am giving here as of now Indian. Okay, so this way, just run this program first, and then person can vote, because person age is 18. Okay, age is 18, then it will come inside, then it will check that if citizenship is Indian. Yes, citizenship is Indian, then it came inside if person can vote. If part is running, then else part will be not running. And also this if was run, that's why this else is not running. Okay, now you need to check that this part is ran successfully. Now you need to check for equals to, right, that age is equal to 18. Okay, then if age is equal to, age is greater than 18. Okay, now you need to check for age is equal to 18. Okay, so here you can give or age is equal to 18. Okay, either this should be true or this should be true. Just run this program, person can vote. If I give here 18, just so simple operators actually sometimes easy our work. Okay, if I give here 17, cannot vote. Okay, so this is how nested if else are working. Yeah, somebody has a question, because in between if you mute, then I will understand this only. Okay, so this is nested if else. Okay, so this is also done, this is also done. Okay, now this is for today. I will start the loop session tomorrow. Just I want to start with this some coding part. Also I have pasted some assignments in the mobile app. You can access those assignments related to if else. For loop I will cover up tomorrow. So tomorrow I am planning to have session. I will take the session as well, but 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sanjay will take out the session. Okay, and 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. I will be taking, means there may be chance that I can take session uh, 5 minutes before as well, means 10:30 as well. Okay, so please attend tomorrow session, because what actually happens, let me tell you first. I will take your questions if you have. See, I am going to suppose automate any free automation website. Suppose website any I will take, suppose this one. I am going to automate sub. Okay, then what is this? This is actually web element. This is web element. This is web element docs. This is web element. This is button is a web element. This image is actually a web element. Okay, this pop-up is actually web element, whatever coming, right? And everything here you can see will have web element, and I have to locate. So anything you want to automate, first you have to locate that. So there are locators for that, right? Manually we write our locators in forms of code. I am talking about the Selenium in forms of code, but sometime there may be lots of problem. You will not able to write your locators. So there is a plugin which helps you to write the locators. Okay, means plugin will write locator for you. So tomorrow we have session for that plugin with the person who has created that plugin. If you are in automation field, then you must have heard his name. His name is Sanjay Kumar. Previously he created a plugin which was actually CrowPath, but he stopped giving support for the CrowPath plugin, and he created a new one, is Selectors Hub. So tomorrow he will be taking a guest session in my request, so please attend that session, don't miss that. Okay, it's very sometimes they are not free, so we have requested, so he is taking session. So he will be telling you about the selectors hub, same time 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. so he will be joining. Before he joins, please you join. Okay, thank you for attending today's session. Have a nice day.